Okay, Sunday. Actually, a cold start after a full week. Not too bad. Wasn't horrible. But I'm still feeling horrible. In terms of money, I had a good week at work, but not good otherwise. Okay. So it's June. Managed to pay the bills yesterday. Well, some of them, the ones I actually have to manually pay. And pretty happy about the hours I did. There's only one day this past week I didn't do overtime. So great, I need that money. And I was exhausted Friday and had another episode of me dealing with hate speech at work, like leveled towards me. So, you know, abusive speech, whatever. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just doing my job. And yeah, and I stayed neutral with all their whatever shenanigans. So they were loyal and they showed up to work. And nobody really, you know, trash talked each other because that guy's got a knife, you got a knife. There's flaming pans flying down the line, like there's people yelling all night. Like it's not the kind of environment where you want to you know, shit talk the man or woman standing next to you in the heat of battle. You know, it's a brutal industry, just like this industry is brutal. But I can't get any kind of a, you know, fair treatment at work. So yeah, it's brutal. We have good people, but most of them are at the point where they can't protect me anymore. Like it risks their job. They're not going to risk their job to protect me any longer because it's been going on for 10 years. So whatever. I don't have good people in my life anymore. I had a few angels in my life. In spite of the horrible life I had, I did have a few angels in my life. Real ones. Only thing missing was the wings. But they were angels. Men and women. So I have to remind myself that there's still a chance that one of those will turn up. And yeah, guys, like I said, I left at like 6:30 trying to avoid traffic. So Sunday, 6:30. It's because we almost had a pileup last week when I did this ride in the rain. I got almost all the way across the bridge. You can see it in the video. You see jackasses pulling right in front of me and just slamming on the brakes. So it's not enough that I risk death just to get my thrills on a Harley. You know, I'm that pathetic. taking deep breaths. People need not worry. I'm not like, clinically depressed. I'm just depressed to the point where, yeah, I'm not really sleeping that well. Because I don't really see a way out of fighting back against hate speech at work. Speech and essentially what's called discriminatory behavior, collusion, slander, that kind of stuff. Yeah, 46% of all human rights related complaints that the province gets are because of people who are somehow disabled. Isn't that like, wow? It just really kind of made me sick to my stomach, when I kind of read that and thought, yikes. So every time someone gets picked on due to racial things, it makes the news. But you never see when a handicapped person or whatever gets some kind of disabled person, fringe, whatever you want to call yourself, but you're clearly different and it's not something that you can change. It's like I was born this way due to whatever chemicals were in my mom's birth control pills. Luckily, God put me in touch with the right surgeons, and I actually look pretty good. I've been late. I've had a few girlfriends, that live to tell a tale. They're all very happy right now. And probably stronger, having dealt with me and had to, protect me for a few years. That's what really happens. When someone falls in love with me, they get hated on. Sometimes not right away, but eventually there's that small percentage of idiot that says, hey, what's the matter with his face? And then all of a sudden she's embarrassed. We're at a fucking restaurant, and now we got some Trump supporter pointing out what's wrong with me loudly in public. I'm like, fuck. Hey, welcome to 2024, asshole. It's all I can do not to be armed and ready 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I think I do Canada a great service, and I honor my country by not rolling around with a fucking gun in my pocket. Like, I get attacked so much that if I was American, I'd open carry. And I hate handguns. But if I lived in America, because of the way I get treated, I'd have to wear a gun right on my fucking hip. I'd strut around even though it would never be loaded. You know what I'm saying? I just can't fucking do that in Canada. So respect for me is something that's always given after they blow themselves out and they realize nothing happened, so we must be wrong. So they never come and apologize, and nobody restores the money that I've lost by not being promoted or whatever. And it's so systemic in our societies, BC, but a lot of places, not just BC, but it is so systemic that a couple of good workers that I work with who have known me a long time, so those people deserve a Medal of Honor. Really, because I still, even today, like I just get totally surprised by, oh my God. But nothing should surprise me. King Solomon, who wrote the Ecclesiastes under a pseudonym, He was quite old and wise at that point, and realizing that everything we try to accumulate in life is all due to vanity, and that when we face our maker, when it's time for that, we actually can't take any of that stuff with us. What is up with this traffic light? Oh, see that? Didn't turn. I had the flashy lights. It didn't turn. I'm waiting for it to turn. It doesn't turn. I think, what the fuck? Maybe I'll just go all the way through. See, I like this light. It's more normal. Like when it counts down, it actually goes to yellow and then red. It's these lights that can do the countdown or the flashing warning, and then I get to it and it's still green. You know, you're like, oh man, what do I do? Those cause accidents. There's been so many accidents right at that Douglas Road light that I had to slam on my brakes for. There's so many accidents there just because that light is stupidly timed. Okay, even though I only got about 6 hours continuous sleep last night, I did feel well enough to ride. So I get this done, I'll get another decent paycheck, that's good. I just got to get some of my work-related issues sorted out somehow. I did a hunting course, let's call it your firearms course, years ago, and a couple of the people were a little bit late for the class, and he failed them. And they did get a little uppity and we're filing a complaint. And yeah, he just looked at me and he said, hey, never trust a person with a firearm that does not know how to set an alarm. And I really, he was military. This was a normal course, but this guy's background, there was a mission. His background is military. And that's what he does for a living. He does these courses. And when I did do the firearms course, I'm not a gun person, but I did it because I hunt with a bow, right? So I did the, you know, I'm legally allowed to go hunting with a rifle, even though I don't. I use a bow, generally. Guns, like rifles, for me, at hunting, are my backup. You know, if I had a grizzly come into the camp and start trashing the camp, oh, okay, a gun would be very handy at that point. You know, but if I'm actually stalking a small black bear that I can carry out, well, cool. You know, if I'm hunting for food, I don't do that, but this is Canada, so I get a hunting license to put money into the conservation, even in years when I know I won't have time to hunt. So, I don't know, I kind of got into a long story there, but anyway, yeah, I do dangerous work. I really kind of take advice from people like that rather than anyone else, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, don't trust your life. Don't put your life in the hands of someone who can't fucking have enough discipline to set an alarm. and realize that they're not showing for a guy or girl who now is in the shit because you're not there. So if I can show up at work without actually being late for almost a decade, why can't anyone else? You know, it's like, that's what maddens me about this industry. We got people in their 40s who do this kind of thing multiple times, not just once. Yeah, that's what it hurts. That's what's breaking my heart. That is what's breaking my heart. I can't find any loyalty anywhere. If it means screwing me out of a shift, hey, who cares what you got to do? So I'll just keep riding alone. Clearly no women have the balls to ride with me because I get picked on too much. So I'm stuck without any kind of a supporter. Today, even though I'm probably not in that great a shape mentally to be riding, today was honestly a ride or die. This was a ride or die situation. Just like yesterday, it was raining most of the day, so it's kind of a good day to be stressed out and depressed. And the hockey game didn't really help, but that's okay. I'm not a Super Ranger fan, but I like most of the original 6 teams. So I would have been happy to see any of the original 6 teams in a cup final. And I was hoping it would be with Edmonton, but oh my god, guys. And of course, I'm not even going to talk about Vancouver. We had a good year, and I'm proud of our team. Our guys did really good, given what we were dealing with. I really identify with the underdog, and that's what our little team was. We were certainly underdogs going in. We were, you know, the fact that we finished at the top of the league in the league play as well, we put in a solid year. And we could have very easily beaten that other team, you know, like we could have put Edmonton away, just we didn't have the couple of good bounces we needed. The teams are pretty evenly matched this year. You know, all the sort of top 4, 5, or 6 teams, it could have gone either way. It's pretty crazy. So it's been a good hockey year, is what I'm getting at. We've had some good playoff hockey. And by rights, this should be the happiest time. I'm making money, you know, playoffs. I'm on a Harley. You know, I should be stoked about life right now. And instead, I've got so much crap at my work that it's causing me stress that is on top of the normal stress of our job. And it's a miracle I haven't just punched someone in the face. Like, I get mistreated so much that it really is a miracle that not only most of the time I bite my tongue, and yeah, I keep my hands to myself. You know, I feel like the Pulp Fiction moment, you know, Ringo, I'm trying, Ringo. But I'm beset on all sides by the tyranny, you know, that speech. I'm really trying to be a good person. But what my church mentors in the course I'm doing, what they would say is the more, or not the more, closer, the closer you get to God in your studies, like when you really feel, you know, you feel that spiritual connection, you start to feel it. You feel it happening. Like when my buddy Dale just sort of jokingly looked over and said, it's just a book about the Bible that I was reading to him. I mean, he thinks it's funny, but that hit something in me that said, keep saying that, buddy. You know, just keep saying it. You know what I mean? Like, you'll find out. You know, it's like the sticker that I saw on an AK bike. Fuck around and find out. These guys are called angels for a reason. Yeah. Go ahead. Break all the commandments and then die. And you'll see what happens. Because you'll see nothing ever again. You'll never come back. And that's the whole Christian sort of focal point. So we don't just live for this world. We live for eternity. We live for that hope that even if we die now in this life, that we will be brought into the new Jerusalem and the new earth. So, yeah. And again, there might have been a time in my life when I didn't believe. I just can't remember when that was. Really. Just because, you know, even as a kid looking in the mirror and seeing the changes based on each of the 6 surgeries I had to go through in order to be as beautiful as I am today. I took 6 plastic surgeries and lots of skin graft and bone graft, I had a bone marrow graft, is that what they call it? I don't know if it's a marrow transplant, is that what they call it now? It was so new, they probably didn't know what to call it. But yeah, we're talking, I'm 54, right? So I would have been early teens when I had that done. I was in a wheelchair for 6 months because they took so much bone marrow out of my fucking hip. And what a surprise, now I got hip problems. That's okay. Part of that is due to my accident because it extends through my spine. So the muscle damage, my lower spine, cartilage, disc, all my discs. I actually should have surgery to fuse a couple of my vertebrae. But I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm just doing yoga. I'm going to yoga it better. I'm going to yoga the shit out of it. But I really should have had the best Friday ever. If it weren't for that one workmate, I would have had the easiest day of my week on Friday. And got 9 hours for it. So yeah. But because of some drama that I didn't cause, I didn't ask for that. Just because I'm not a babysitter. But yeah, just knowing that I'm now on the shit list because I tried to follow the rules. Yeah, I miss some of the kitchen gals I worked with. Oh, I never had so much fun. Great sense of humor. I remember this, I can't use names, but I remember this one time this local punk guy was trying to give this girl a hard time, and it was really inappropriate what he did. He put up a bunch of porn photos from a magazine. He cut the sheets out of a porn mag, and he put them all up on the line, kitchen line. and she showed up, and they were all, you know, he was giggling, and a couple other guys were kind of giggling at this point too, and I'm like, oh shit, because I know the girl, and I'm like, she might just kick the F out of all of them, you know, like this might go really bad. And I didn't know, I wasn't there until this went down, like I wasn't even in the building yet, you know, and this is what the people, she told me afterwards, right? And apparently she looked over at this punk who thought he, you know, really got her this time, and she just calmly looked at him and said, hey, blank, whatever your name is, it is really great that you were able to get in here early and put up photos of your family. They're so beautiful. Like that. Oh my God, it was awesome, eh? So right there, she earned the, you know, just through that one really slick move, it was just, yeah, I was just like, wow. What a way to handle an otherwise stupid situation, right? It's like some idiot. So I miss working with people like that. You know, their ethics, yeah, their workplace ethics just cause them to be fair with me, right? I don't even care if people like me, they just need to be fair with me at work. So, yeah, crazy. That taper is not long enough. That's about 15 meters long, and with a bunch of devices. So the rule book says you got to have minimum of 5, or in this case 6, for your taper for a lane closure. And the distances between the device is what a lot of flaggers who come here from where, I don't know, wherever they come from, some other planet, but they don't realize that the space between those devices is connected to the speed limit. So in a 50, you need them to be, let's say, 10 meters apart. That gives you a 50-meter closure, which is the minimum length for that closure to be in order to give people a proper angle and proper time with which to gently merge in. When you have a blunt taper like that, it causes people to merge at the last second erratically, and it causes accidents. But those two probably go around the city claiming they have experience. And you see, I didn't really look at the front taper, whether or not it was any good, but that back taper that I drove past and pointed at, that fucking sucks. And I see this every day in my industry. Not only with other companies, but with my people we kind of just hired who tell me I've worked a highway 2 years. That's what I dealt with Thursday. I had an add-on from another company because the guy I tried to have a workplace ethics talk with, you know, probably doesn't want to work with me anymore. So yeah, I got this guy who told me he's worked on the highway 2 years. And he couldn't do it. He did a taper like that, or his boss did a taper like that, but his first taper was way too long. I mean, he put out so much gear that had nothing to do with what we were doing. Like he was in the wrong block, basically. And I use Windmasters for anything that's more than 2 lanes. So multi-lane road, Windmasters, the big tall sign stands. And this used to be how everybody worked in my company, but that's just not the case. Because I don't think we have anyone training anyone. Because they don't want to pay any of us experienced people a training allowance, which I think is even sort of, I'd have to look at our union paperwork, but I think, yeah, we would be entitled to a training allowance if that's what we were doing a lot of. But ultimately on Thursday, I had to redo everything that guy did. So it would have been better if he just parked his empty truck at my site and took transit home. Because I had to do all his gear anyway, right? I had to walk like 10 kilometers in my boots just to get it all done. I'm certainly not a rock star. If I quit, nobody will care. But I still think I'm better than most people in this industry. So if you run a flagging company and you actually know who I am, you've met me, and you already own a flagging company, please consider sending me a text or an email with some kind of job offer. So at this point, I'll take any job where I'm not actively the victim of discrimination and hate speech. And just as I thought, forcing myself to get out and ride today and doing this way, ride or die, I felt like shit all weekend. I left the house yesterday, but only to go out in the parking lot. I go out in the parking lot to have my herbal medicine because I don't, want to burn the building down, and I follow the rules. Well, my price for following the rules is that anytime I'm down on the parking lot, it allows an opportunity for one of my hater neighbors to challenge me, get in my personal space, complain about random stuff that doesn't even involve me, just to find ways to have a confrontation with me. So, yeah. There you go. Again, I didn't do anything to them. Half of them I don't even know them. But me having a condo makes them angry. That's what it is. It just makes them angry that I have a condo. And it's only because of God that I have anything. It isn't really mine. As King Solomon pointed out when he was trying to teach people, he was the teacher. And the pseudonym he used to write Ecclesiastes is the preacher. That's how they translated it in the New King James Bible that I happen to use. A lot of arguing going on, this Bible, that Bible. I just, hey, that's just the one I like reading, okay? And it seems to be accurate. It's just as accurate as the King James, which most people, can't really discount that much, in terms of one version versus the other. But if you're my age, in your 50s, and worry about retirement and wealth and possessions, and you're getting caught up in that quagmire, Ecclesiastes reminds us that all that we do is just vanity. In the end, everything we do is like grasping at the wind. It says that several times in Ecclesiastes. This whole grasping at the wind. You're grabbing nothing. Everything, like this Harley, everything I own, as soon as I croak, some other person is just going to find a way to own it or sell it or benefit from it. I have no idea who that'll be. But that's what I'm getting at. You cannot take it with you. In the end, it means nothing. What is going to mean something is how you treated your brother, how you treated your sister. You know, whether or not you chose love of family over your love for God and Jesus. Jesus explicitly told us that He comes first, not your mother or father. And in my case, that's awesome. You know, because my family was totally toxic. So for a guy like me to read that in the Bible and realize that, wait a minute, they're not even number one in my heart. So that's what I've tried to do later in life. I didn't always see it this way, but it's only very recently that I've realized what a godsend not having any family fucking up my life right now. What a godsend that is. Right now, I'm out riding a Harley when I had maybe 2 hours sleep Friday night because I was so pissed off and grumpy. And then last night, I think I got about 6 just because I got so baked on indica that I knocked myself out. So I got about 6 hours continuous sleep, woke up and thought, you know, there's no way I should be riding even today, even though I feel a bit better. So it was kind of weird. But I rolled over a couple of times, had coffee and just had to tell myself, look, you know you need this. You know, where was all your ride or die talk that you were talking about last winter before you bought the bike? You know, like the winter before last, before I even had this thing. I was trying to tell myself, you know, like I'm not going to be a fair weather rider, even though I got to ride weekends because I don't want to be in rush hour traffic. But I told myself I was going to ride all year somehow, even though I was a newbie, right? You know, and I told my, you know, ride or die. I really love that slogan. It's cool. It's hip. But yeah, what it really means is that you're riding alone, and yeah, all those friends you thought you would find to go riding with, they're not around. The only time I ride with people is in like an organized group ride. Which is cool, but, you know, those people don't really know me, right? It'd be more fun to go with, you know, a guy that lives around the corner from me. But that's fine. I get my ride every weekend. And nobody tried to make me crash today. It was a good ride, actually. Just that one little, oops, almost through that one light at Douglas, which is hard to judge that light. So other than that one little move there, it's been a very safe ride and much better. I think I missed a shift there once through the ride, but that's fine. It's been a week since I rode. So I think I did good there. And I'm going to go back out very shortly. I just want to stop at home for a quick break, maybe choke back a banana before I get in the grocery store. If I go shopping for food when I'm hungry, yeah, guess what? I buy too much crap, processed stuff. Oh, nice. Just about missed that one. Yikes. Yeah, I'm really having a hard time with the potholes. Today, even though it's not my best mood, I wore Ron Burgundy on the inside. I'm Ron Burgundy on the inside. So I'm trying to have a sense of humor, and I wore my burgundy shirt so I could channel some Will Ferrell, the Anchorman, Ron Burgundy. It just makes me laugh thinking about that movie. So I put this shirt on hoping it would improve my mood and I could be like Ron Burgundy on the inside. Okay, ride number 2 today. Because the day off for me really isn't a day off. Well, tomorrow, or yesterday, I couldn't do anything. But that's okay. I made udon noodles and basically spent the day hiding from the rain. It's starting to rain, and I just had the very nicest little brief chat with my checkout girl. Nice checkout lady, wearing a bit of a hijab. But the lady in front of me at the checkout line, was kind of older, a little bit of handicap action going on where she couldn't quite get her PIN number, but she knew her PIN number, but her hands have arthritis. So this little Checo lady was so patient and kind with this lady. She came around and whatever, entered the lady's number for her and everything. And I just kind of had my heart warmed a little bit by watching that interaction between two humans who are from entirely different cultures, kind of connect and realize, you know, I need the money from this transaction or my boss will get mad, I need to complete this, I got a scary biker looking dude standing there smiling, maybe he's gonna snap, I don't know. She was just like, okay, I gotta deal with it, and it was really heartwarming to watch all that and realize that here is a person helping, you know, what would be an older lady who's a little bit handicapped with her arthritis, you know, trying to get some groceries happening. So with all my bitterness today and all my anger towards some of the issues I'm dealing with, wow, that really kind of, it helped. That's what I'm saying. It really helped. Almost brought tears to my eyes. So yes, it's starting to rain. I'm not worried about it because it's probably going to get sunny later this afternoon. Even though I don't really anticipate me going anywhere, I've been